Okay, so we got to get some more drama now. Let's talk about Drag Race. So Akira C. Davenport and Silky Ganache, this drama is still continuing. So yesterday I left y'all off with the fact that Silky apologized to Bob the drag queen for calling her Oreo while she did an interview on Outlaws with T.S. Madison. And then I also followed that up with that one of the beefs I don't think is ever going to be recovering, or another relation, or I should say a relationship that will never be salvaged, is Silky, Nutmeg, Ganache, and Akira C. Davenport's friendship. Because apparently there was some drama that transpired between them over a TV and this, that, and the other. And then I told y'all that she ended up doing Mistress Isabel Brooks's podcast. Well, child, I watched it. And so did Akira, because I do have Akira's clapback and rebuttal and what had happened. We're gonna get to that in a second. But let me actually refresh you all's memory on all of this in case it is um hard to keep up, because it has taken a nasty turn. So, I didn't even know the girls was fighting until I watched Drag Race All Stars 11. And then I started watching Roscoe's and all this other tit for tat back and forth, and this was happening. And I'm like, wait, I didn't even know there was a beef. And then, of course, as the episodes progressed, we were starting to find out that Akira and Silky were not getting along. And you can't sit up there and tell me that people behind the scenes weren't aware of this, because why else would y'all make sure that Silky and them and Akira made it all the way into the semifinals so y'all can get that beef to transpire over into the show, which has not happened yet. I'm not even sure if it'll happen in the grand finale, but it's already playing out on social media. So who needs a TV show when we all getting it live in 4K? So they said that the beef stemmed from a TV, which Akira publicly accused Silky of stealing. So when Silky did go on Mistress's show, she did address the whole TV situation. She said it was only one TV and not two. And apparently, according to Akira, she did throw one of her that Silky did throw one of her TVs out. And then Silky was saying that the boyfriend that she was dating at the time wanted to throw the TV out because her stuff was sitting up in the garage. So to get to the whole All Stars 11, but not All Stars 11 situation. So to get to the Mistress Isabel Brooks situation, um Silky appeared on her YouTube channel on July 13th, which was yesterday, and said the nail in the coffin for me is, and this is what a lot of people do not know, is that Akira sued me for $900. She said she was served at her home. At this point, I had stolen the TV and a sewing machine. This lawsuit was filed a couple of days after we got back from All Stars filming after the merge. So what had happened was she explained on the show that Akira was going through some hard times, that she basically was like, you could stay at my house in Houston. I believe she had just bought a house out in Houston, Texas. And Akira stayed with her. She said that I think her mortgage, and I'm like, damn, I might need to move to Texas. Her monthly mortgage was, I believe she said $3,700. I'm like, that's it? Shit, if I could get me a big ass house with 4 bedrooms, and that's what she said she got, and she turned one of them, the room that Akira was sleeping in, into a studio. Trust and believe, I would get me a house in Texas, but I ain't trying to move out there. Texas got too many situations going on right now. I'm staying in the sanctuary state, and that's New York. So until things get better out there, maybe I'll buy a big ass house. But anyway, so she was staying there. She said that she was only supposed to stay there for 90 days. She ended up staying there for 9 months. And then Silky kept asking her, okay, so when are you going to move out? And this, that, and the other. And she said she was trying to find a house, and then she ended up settling for an apartment. And seemed like there was a lot of miscommunication between the two. Silky ended up going, I think, on some work trips or whatever the case was. And when she said, oh, she'll be gone by the time she comes back, but when Silky got back, Akira was still there. And but then when Akira finally moved out, they kept trying to find a time of, okay, so when you going to come over and get your stuff, which she said that she had moved to the garage. And Akira would give her a date. Every time the date came up, Akira never showed up. Then it gets down to the whole court case situation. So when she finally came to get her stuff, there was a little animosity between them, a little drama, like a little tension. They didn't talk it out. But because I think that when Silky had said that Akira hit her up or whatever the case was, she was going away to visit her family for Juneteenth. She said when she gets back, she'll, they could meet up, this and the other. Akira didn't show up. So a lot of times if she was setting up things, Akira was not showing up. And she said all this in the thing. Then of course, not Silky. Mistress was asserting herself and I would have slapped the shit out. Oh, I would have did. It's like, girl, why are you even trying to do all of this? Like, you are secretly liking all this drama. And then when Akira finally told her side of the story, then Mistress goes and says online, "Oh, so now I realize that after finding out all the evidence, and I'm gonna play y'all the clip of." And it's a long one of Akira giving her side of the story. Then she goes and says, "Oh, now I realize there's two sides of every story." Well, you dumb bitch. Of course, there's two sides to every story. Well, not necessarily two sides. There's three sides. There's her side, there's Akira's side, there's Silky's side, and there's truth somewhere in the middle. And so for you to sit there and quickly take a side of somebody and be saying that, yeah, you wanted to have Akira on the show, but Akira is like, no, you're messy and I don't want to be on your show. Then you decided, oh, I'm going to get Silky. And then you trying to bait her in a lot of situations. And shout out to Silky for taking the high road in a lot of situations. She was there to tell her truth. She was there to tell her side of the story. She wasn't doing all that extra stuff that Mistress was trying to do to zhuzh up the thing, add a little seasoning to the gumbo. You was being a little too extra in that situation where you didn't need to be. And funny enough, I didn't even know all of them was Davenports. I had no idea that Mistress was a Davenport, and I had no idea that Silky was a Davenport. Child, you think I follow all of them? The only Davenport I know is Honey. So I don't be knowing all the Davenports like that. But anyway, so with all that drama and everything, Mistress did say on social media, I agree, I can't speak shit on you other than a one-sided point of view, which is why I invited you to come on the channel and tell your side. You're still welcome to join us for Mistress Monday. Also, you throwing in that I was reading her and did it like a laugh emoji. I read everyone. Anyways, if you're hashtag Team Akira, sound off in the comments and let your voice. So now, even then, she trying to milk this for her own personal gain. And so Akira wound up writing. Oh yeah, I should have probably read hers first before I read Mistress' response. She said, "Mistress Isabel Brooks and Tagda, you can't speak shit on me other than from one side point of view. You was literally just on my phone reading that lady and begging me to do it on your show, which I declined. Do what you got to do because I'll be doing the same and save that fake ass ... So, um, that's what she ended up saying. And I guess what she wanted to do is she's like, look, I'm going to control my own narrative. I'm not going to let y'all come out and try to twist my words or edit me in a certain way to make me look like the villain. I'm going to come out and tell my own side of the story and tell the side of the story she did. So with all that being said, let's get to what Akira C. Davenport had to say. This is all I could find on Twitter because I heard that she went on for a good old hour on Instagram, I believe, but here's what she had to say on the drama because they were like, well, Silky was calm in what she had to say, but Akira was being all hostile and a little aggressive in her delivery and looked like she was ready to fight, like she was the vixen. So let's play the clip and we'll come back and talk.
Been quiet. I had been hearing stories. I had been hearing you lying about all kind of stuff. You had just went to Roscoe's and told people that I was homeless. Y'all can clearly see that I'm not homeless by far. I've never been homeless. As long as my mom has breath in her body, I always can go back there. That's where I was initially going in the first place. Silky asked me to come over there. Silky asked me to come there. Okay, boom. So as far as the whole court thing, I was frustrated, and I'm not gonna lie. I was going to react out of anger at first. My mom told me, "No, Pooh, don't do that X, Y, and Z." Cool. Let me just do what I need to do. File a court thing. I filed the court thing. That was before I moved into this place. So anybody know with the court, anytime you file a suit, it takes time. It has to process through the system. At that time, I had just moved into this place here. So the paperwork had went to my old apartment. So that's how I missed the court date because I never got it because the time had passed.
Oh, so yeah, in case I forgot to mention that Silky ended up going to court and Akira did not show up. So she felt that, oh, well, all these other times, like you wasn't showing up every time when you would make a date. This is what she pulled in this situation. But Akira is saying that she didn't get the thing because it went to the old house, which everybody knows when you do something, when you move, you got to constantly change your living address so that way your stuff can get there. But who knows? Maybe that letter got there before the transition was made of you changing your address, at the post office.
Was already in her house, so it's going to automatically go to her house. Yes, I did send a suit because I couldn't do anything else to her. She had already offered me another TV. So why are you saying that you didn't know that a TV was there, but then you say you have to check with somebody as one excuse? Then the next excuse, you tell somebody, well, I'll give you this other TV, which I also have in black and white. And I'm like, well, no, that's not my TV. How are you going to offer me another TV, a smaller TV, that's not even the size of my TV? It was never mainly about the TV. It was about the bullshit that I had been dealing with prior to the TV thing. So yes, I did sue her about a damn TV. Sure did.
The ghetto.
I was frustrated. And so how I attacked was when I made those tweets and lashed out on social media. Yes, that possibly was childish for me, but bitch, out of anger, I reacted. Sure did. But that whole narrative that's where all of this spun from, no. As you can see through all of this took place prior to me going on Twitter and taking it to social media. That came after we make it to the merge. When I come into the merge, I don't come in even thinking about the bullshit no more. That's why when Jasmine first approached me on it, I wasn't thinking about that. Because again, she was dead to me. Our friendship was dead. It was over. It is what it is. I was perfectly fine. She brought that to the television. So at that point, yes, when I said fuck her, I wasn't crashing out. Bitch, anybody who knows me know I naturally talk fast. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. Bitch, I was just saying what I felt. I felt like in this situation, she was fake. From the things you did to me, I guess, to get me out your house without not saying it, that was fake. For you to go to everybody with all these different excuses as to why you put me out and you've yet to come to me, that was fake. If I tried to mend a friendship, at any of those times that I reached out to say, hey, let's sit down, if our friendship was that valuable to you, regardless had I slept with your man, fucked your uncle, whatever that stole money from you, which none of those things I've ever did, as a friend, wouldn't you think the person would come to you and say, well, bitch, this is why we are here, right or wrong? Nothing was ever said to me. Even when we got to the workroom, everybody knows from watching Drag Race, bitch, the workroom ain't no bigger than this. So again, even if it had to be off of camera, I'm thinking, bitch, if you somebody to call me as a friend and you wanted to fix the situation, you would say, hey, girl, X, Y, and Z, boom, 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 boom. So this whole narrative that I talked about your weight loss journey, you see in black and white that I congratulate you on more than one occasion, on 2 occasions. This whole house thing, I went with you to close on it. I was happy for you. We started the journey together. You just finished. I didn't. And I'm okay with that. Everything is not for everybody. The money that I owed you and I borrowed for you because I needed silicone removal, thank you. Told you thank you for that. Paid you that money back. So again, if you had that much of issue with me, what's so hard about coming to me? Why did it even have to be this type of thing right here? You made this a thing. I didn't. Yes, I made those comments, but that was after all of this had transpired. So yes, you're no longer my friend, so bitch, I sent you a lawsuit. Okay? At that time, as you can see, have a brand new TV. I wasn't tripping. When I found that she made it to court and I didn't. Okay, whoop de doo. It is what it is. But again, as far as this still going on, that's the thing. Why is this still going on? As far as me posting on Twitter, that's because again, we're in the workroom when you could have said stuff to me, but you wait to go to those cameras and say stuff. I didn't. I wasn't trying to make a thing. Because for some sick, strange reason, we're going to get past this and be back friends. That's like a woman who leaves her man and dogs him out and then they're back together months later. I didn't want this to look like that for us. I didn't. So that's why I never took it to social media prior to that. That's why I never did any of those things prior to that. But at that point that we made it to TV, I thought that this was the game that she wanted to play. She wants to spin the narrative like she's the victim. Yes, we've helped each other a lot along the way. But as far as the allegations of me being a bum, that's never been a thing. Allegations of me being on drugs, that's never been a thing. I've never been jealous of her. Because quiet as it's kept, those looks that y'all saw at Continental, that makeup and stuff that y'all saw at Continental, that was all my doing. I never asked for credit for any of that. Because again, when I even went to her about that, I went to her as a friend saying, I know this is your dream. Can I at least put my spin on it to give you some type of revamp so that you can appear a different way? Even when we went to Drag Race the first time, All Stars, I wasn't originally going to go to All Star 6 at first. Silky called me and said she was going. And if you think I'm lying, the first thing I said to her out of my mouth was, hey, bitch. I said, let me tell you, you already know the first things before we even get our runway stuff, you need to start getting stockings, pads, and girdles. I said, because that's the first thing they read you about. If God is my witness, he can take my breath right now. I've never did anything but look out for Silky. I've never did anything malicious to her. That's why the shit hurt. And anytime I used to talk about it, I would almost cry. Because again, I still to this day don't know how we got to this place. I don't know how we got here. And she's yet to face me to tell me how we got here. She's went on interviews. She went to Roscoe's and told them one thing. She went and told, and if you think I'm lying, Kendi Davenport is my witness. I literally just got called in a room by one of the girls when we was at Roscoe's. And the girl stopped me and said, well, Silky came here and she was saying this, that, and the third, dogging you out, boom, 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 boom. Cool, it's expected. But at some point, when do you allow it to die? Okay. Yes, absolutely. When do you dead the shit? If we're done and we've cut ties, why? And you're not going to face me about what it is that I did that put us in this place? Why we just want to cut ties, baby girl? Because that whole narrative of me talking about your weight loss, that came after. So the problem was prior to that. Been quiet.
Yeah, so it pretty much cuts there. But she said that the weight loss shade and stuff came after the fact, which means, okay, so when your feelings was hurt, you really showed how you really felt, which was to fat shame her or whatever the case was. Which look, at the end of the day, hurt people, so I totally get it. So at this point, I mean, did she even say earlier? I mean, maybe I was hearing then, but did she say that she'd be willing to work things out or whatever, like they were gonna become friends again? But I guess with the whole TV situation, she was like, nah, there's no coming back from this. So I just think at this point, look, it is what it is. Y'all were friends at one point, y'all let stuff come between each other. There seemed to be a miscommunication situation between the both of you. It'd be nice if y'all could have just worked this out amongst each other instead of taking it to social media. I know that there was this back and forth with the texting and this, that, and the other, and one not showing up and this, that, and the other. I don't know. It just seems like overall it's a miscommunication thing. It's sad that your friendship has gotten to this point, or that y'all friendship was great at one point. There was a feud. I don't know if there was a sense of jealousy that was going on. Who knows at this point? It just seems like a lot of back and forth. And I don't feel like we'll even find out the truth. But like I said from the beginning, there's Silky side, there's a carrier side, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle. So I guess, if I was a judge, this would be inconclusive. at this point. So, or it's just petty and it's just dumb and it's sad because, like I was saying yesterday, I was like, um, I can't remember which queen said it, but they were like, the Asian queens don't be having drama like this. The Hispanic queens, they be sticking together. They don't be having drama like that. I'm sure they be out there fighting, but it's always the black queens that be out here getting the most coverage, the most drama. There's always some back and forth fighting and bickering between them. And it's sad that it's always the black queens that it seems like it's always in this situation. Or the white queens, I guess, they be going through their shit, but we don't be caring. But it's like, the black queens, they be going through their mess, and there's always good grist for the mill. And it's unfortunate that they always want to see the black girls fighting, and we got to be better than this. So hopefully y'all work it out, but I don't see that happening. But anyway, with all that being said, I definitely want to hear from y'all. Whose side are you on? Are you hashtag team and carry? No, let me stop. We're not gonna do that. This ain't drag race jail. Where we're gonna be like with the hashtag team this, that, and the third. How do you feel about all of this? Whatever your thoughts are on this drama that's still going on, every day is something new. Let me know in the comments down below.